There's a reason why professional tracks sound so much better than the average production. And it's something far more subtle than mixing. In fact, if you don't pay attention to this, no fancy mixing technique will save you. So over the past few years, I've helped more than 400 producers finish music they're actually proud of, and that was one specific problem I've noticed among almost every artist I've worked with. So in this video, I'll show you exactly what that problem is and how you can avoid it in your tracks so that your music sounds just as good as your reference tracks. So the subtle difference between a production that sounds good and one that sounds great very often lies in the amount of focus in the music. Focus basically means that you pay close attention to which elements are you actually using, how are you introducing elements, and how do you weave over all these elements into the storytelling of your track. Now, this is not a mixing decision purely, it's more like a production and arrangement decision, but it has huge consequences on the mix because you put too much stuff into your track at all moments, you will definitely run into issues in the mix. Now, I'll show you an example of a current track that I'm working on. This is something like pre-mixing stage. Here, specifically, this part, I want you to pay close attention to what happens in the arrangement and how I'm telling the story of this track. Then I'll walk you through some of the details. So let's zoom out for a moment and see where this is happening in the track. So this is basically one of the first breakdown moments. There's another bigger one happening over here. And as you can see, like this session is super minimalist. Like there's not a lot of stuff happening yet, and that is a good thing. Now the subtle trick that I'm using here to guide the listener through this part of the track is that I'm playing with contrast to put different elements into the focus of the music. So for example, if we listen to this part here that leads into the breakdown, you will notice that I'm bringing some of the percussionments up front into the focus and also the texture swelling a little bit. And the lead sound is like melody is quite muffled, stripped down, more in the background. Now, what happens here in the second half? Here I'm doing the exact opposite. Almost everything fades except for the lead sound, and this lead sound actually opens up the filter a little bit so that some of these shimmery textures are coming through. And this is where I put something very different into the focus of the track. And as you notice, even there, I'm not even bringing in the percussion, so the percussions are also completely muted. There's just like kick, some rumble, not even the texture. Texture's also just starting to swell in again, and the lead sound on top. So listen to this again. Had I put in a riser, a reverse crash, and then lots of percussion sounds over here when this main part drops, the effect would be very, very different because no one would notice this subtle room information in the lead sound. No one would notice these shimmery textures, all the stuff that actually makes it emotionally relevant to me and what I want to express. Now let me put that into the context of the whole track. This is happening in this part because the storytelling of the track goes up a notch in intensity over here. And here I do the exact opposite. I actually bring in loads of percussion elements together with this in the drop moment because the people have already subconsciously stored that shimmery room information, and I can just ramp up the intensity a tiny bit in this part. So let me share with you what that sounds like. few things are happening here. So I'm first of all muting in the breakdown a lot of elements so that people notice that there's actually a change in the melody of the lead sound. I'm actually automating this with the MDD snake. I'm changing the snake shape here, which means the sequence is going through the sequence differently. So here it's going like this, here it's going like this, and here it's going like this, using the same note material but a slightly different sequence pattern. And I want people to notice that, so I'm putting that into the focus during the breakdown. Now, when the peak part happens, people are already accustomed to, okay, there's something changing in the lead sound, but overall they can follow it. And then in that moment, I want to ramp up the intensity for the final part of the track. So I introduce once again the tom right away. I'm introducing a lot of the percussions already. So this one is playing and this other one is slightly ramping in. And then I'm adding a third percussion layer, which has like this nice comp filter effect on it. And that is something I wanted to pay attention to. This is once again one of the details that no one would like consciously notice, but it kind of happens in the background. And yeah, I might even put some other like textures and so on top of that later on in the production stage. But yeah, I would still make sure that this is being audible. What I want you to take away from this is to deliberately design the sonic storytelling of your tracks by placing certain elements into the focus and reducing others. Just like I showed you, using automation, using just a few layers, and with minimal elements, try to create as much of a sonic impact and emotional impact as you can. Now, this will make your mixes much easier and they will fall into place almost automatically, but there are still things you need to watch out for, specifically in the low end. So watch that video next, in which I walk you through my exact workflow to dial in the low end just right.